All right, so I'm back. Different view, but not in the darkness as I thought. Anyway, so I updated the sheet. I will have told you about this before you go, and I know it's the second video, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So these are the different things that we can be when it comes to levels of mastery. It can be not yet, like it's whatever I'm talking about, you're super confused about. It doesn't make any sense. There's just beginning, which means you're starting to, it's, I think you feel like, I think I might be able to do this. I just need to practice a lot. I need to do a lot of practice and get some feedback and see how I'm doing with it. The other one is on my way. So on my way is like you feel good, like you're pretty confident about it. Right now you're making mistakes and you just need to practice more. Maybe not a lot, but you need to practice more, get some more feedback, and then you'll be there. There's also almost there. So almost there is like you just made a couple mistakes. It's just like, I made a calculation error. I did something foolish or something like that. But I need a little bit more practice, and I know I can do this. There's also I can do it that I see. So you've mastered it. You get it right every time, basically. And then GB is going beyond. Oh, I didn't add that there. I'm going to do that right now. So that's going beyond. And going beyond is you've mastered this and you know it so well that you could teach someone else. The other thing that you could do is you know when you've made a mistake. So if I say you've gotten one wrong, you can find it and fix it. Not telling you which one is wrong. So if you have like a group of problems, you have like 10 problems, you get one wrong or two, and I say, hey, there's two wrong in here, you can find it and fix it. Okay, so that would be another way of showing that you can kind of go beyond. The best one would be when you fill out, do the practice, and then at the end you review it and look it over, then you notice the mistake and fix it and catch it even before I say anything. That's really, truly going beyond. And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, is going beyond. The I can do it, that would be if I've said there's two mistakes and then you find them, then you've shown. That's another way to show mastery of the skill. So now I've just changed my mind about that. All right, so getting back to the assessment, we are down at ordering mixed decimals, which was this problem right here. So it says rewrite these numerals in order, beginning with the smallest. Okay, so one thing I do when I'm comparing here, I'm looking at the whole numbers first. So those whole numbers to the left of the decimal point. So I see 18, I see 10, 10, and 10. All right, so right off the bat, I know that 18 and 8/10 is the largest is the one with the greatest value. So I'm just going to put that there. And then I see 10, 10, and 10. So now I have to start thinking place value to understand which one is bigger than the other ones. So the first place I'm looking at is tenths. I see 1/10 here. I see 3/10 here. I see 0/10 here. So 10 and 3/10 then has to be the biggest of those. And then if I go back and compare again, there's 1/10 and 0/10. So I know 10 and 10 hundredths or 10 and 1/10 is bigger than, the 10 and 300ths, which is the smallest. So again, did you get those all in order? And this would be another one. You have to kind of check in with yourself. Did you get lucky? Okay, if you got lucky, then you're almost there. Okay, so or somewhere around there, and you need to do just a little bit more practice so that you're not lucky. Okay, so I don't know that, but you do. You know if you kind of guessed and got it right, which is not mastery. Mastery is knowing that you got it right and getting, or like being confident in your answer and getting it right. Okay, so that was that one. Then the next one we're looking at is reading thousandths. So here, thousandths is that third place to the right of the decimal point. 5 thousandths. Oh, that's probably a typo there. That should be thousandths, THS. 5 thousandths. All right, so that would be here. This is 5 hundredths, 5 tenths, and this is 500 hundredths or 5 tenths. 99 thousandths, this is 90 hundredths, 900 thousandths, 90 thousandths, 9 thousandths. So 90 thousandths is here. We would also say this is 9 hundredths. So 9 hundredths and 90 thousandths are the same thing. Next up is writing thousandths. So this is 342 thousandths, 342 over 1,000, or 342 divided by 1,000 is 0 and 342. We have 60 thousandths, so that's 0 and When it's 60, that 6 is going to be in our hundredths. So we have 0 in the tenths, 6 in the hundredths, and 0 in our thousands. So 60 thousandths. And now we have 5,000. So that's 0, and there's no tenths, there's no hundredths, and there is a 5 in that thousandths. All right, let's see what's next. Rounding decimals. So there are 6 problems here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the different ways to round when it comes to not having a 9 involved. So when a 9 is involved, it can get a little trickier. So this is that first step. So round off these numbers to the nearest whole number. So we have 8 and 342 thousandths. Well, this number is in between 8 and 9. So if I had that number line, right, and I have 8 here and I have 9 here, we all know that right in between, right in the middle, we should know is 8 and 5/10, or 8 and 500 thousandths. Okay, this is 8 and 342 thousandths. Well, 342 is to the left of that half, and so that means the closest whole number it's to is 8. Looking at this one, we're in between 7 and 8. This is past 7.5. It's 7 and 812 thousandths, so that is closer to 8 as well. All right, next up we have tenths. Okay, so if I were to draw a number line here, and I have, what are the 2 tenths that 8 and 34 hundredths is around? It's around 8 and 3/10 and 8 and 4/10. What's in between these? That would be 8, or I should say a half, and 35 hundredths. There's that 5 again, that middle number. So this is the in between 8 and 3/10 and 8 and 4/10 is 8 and, oops, let me move that, 35 hundredths. This is 8 and 34 hundredths, which is just to the left of this, so that means it is closer to 8 and 3/10. And now we have 9 and 782 thousandths. We're looking at the tenth here. So this is between 9 and 7/10 and 9 and 8/10. This 8 is past that 5, so we are at 9 and 8/10. These are asking us to round off to the nearest hundredth. So that hundredth is here, this place here. And this is the other way to think about this is to the right of this hundredth is the thousandth. It's past that middle point, which is 5. So that means we're going to go up. So 8 and 35 hundredths. And here we have 9 and 782 thousandths. I look at this 8 and a hundredth. This 2 is closer to that 8 than going up to the 9. So we have 9 and 78 hundredths. So again, if I went back to explaining it like I did the first time, 8 and 346 thousandths is in between 8 and 34 hundredths and 8 and 35 hundredths. So it goes that 8 and 35. 9 and 782 thousandths, that's in between 9 and 78 hundredths and 9 and 79 hundredths. So those are the 6 that show the skill here. That's why I put that 6 there. And then the next one is rounding off when there is a 9 or 99 after the decimal. So this kind of changes, or just makes us aware of things. Things kind of change a little bit differently. There are 6 problems here. So we have, this as the nearest tenth. So 9 and 961 thousandths. So my tenths are 9 and 9/10. So here, let me draw a number line here. Oops, I probably should have made that bigger, but oh well. So we have the tenths here are 9 and 9/10 or 10. So that's the next tenths. Remember we counted by tenths the other day? 9 and 9/10, 10/10. That would, or 9 and 9/10, 10 and 0/10 would be when we were counting. Because if we were thinking 8/10, 9/10, then it would be 1 whole. So that would be counting by those tenths. So we have 9, and here's the middle. Here would be 9 and 95 hundredths. This is closer to that 10 whole. So it actually would be 10.0. Here we have 19 and 942 thousandths. We're going to look at this 9 here. Right next door is that 4, so it's going to be closer to that 19 and 9/10. Here we have 29 and 981 thousandths. Our tenth is a 9. This is in between 29 and 9/10 and 30, and it is closer to 30 and 0/10. Over here, round off these numbers to the nearest hundredth. So my hundredth is here. So we're in between 14 and 99 hundredths and 15, because that would be the next hundredth, 15.000. Okay, so because this 3 is here, that is less than 995 thousandths. So that keeps us at 14 and 99 hundredths. Here we have a 9. We have 14 and 996 thousandths. This 6 gets us closer to 15. And here we have the hundredth here. 29 and 99 hundredths, there's an 8 right next door, so we're going to be rounding up. If we were counting by hundredths, 29 99 hundredths, 30.00 would be the next one. So we're at 30. All right, so again, depending on how you did with that, you would mark there. And then we're multiplying mixed decimals by 10 or 100, no zeros added. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to find out. So 10 times 34 and 2/10. When we're multiplying by 10, what's happening? All of our digits are shifting to the left. So our answer is 342. 100 times 34 and 52 hundredths. What's happening here? All of our digits are shifting to the left, and it's shifting to the left 2 spots because we have 100 there. So that, if my 3 is in the hundreds, it's going to wind up in the thousands. So we got 3,452. And now we have 10 times that same number, 34 and 52 hundredths. Well, we're only moving everything over to 1 spot to the left, which is going to give us 345 and 2/10. Sometimes people will say like the decimal point is moving. That's one of my huge pet peeves. It's kind of like saying I'm adding 0. The decimal point never ever moves. The decimal point is only ever in between the ones and the tenths. It's one of those ways that you can kind of get these answers right by thinking about moving the decimal point, but it is the wrong way to think about things. All right, so that was that one. And then this one says involving zeros, so or zeros added. See, I don't like that they said zeros added, so I would almost say zeros included. So let's see what that means. I have 100 times 34 and 2/10, so everything's shifting 2 spots. So the tens go to the thousands, the 4 goes to the hundreds, the 2 goes to the tens, and what on earth goes on that 1? Well, a 0, because what was right here to the right of that 2? It's a 0. So 3,420. So that's what they mean by added zeros. Again, I might change that before this even starts. And now we have 100 times 3 and 42 hundredths. So our numbers are shifting 2 spots to the left, which I don't think a 0 will pop up. So if I'm at the ones, I go to the tens, and then the hundreds is 2 spots. I go to the tenths, ones, tens, hundredths, tenths, ones. So yeah, no 0 pops up there. We have 100 times 342. So that's a whole number there. So that 342, all of those numbers are our digits are going to shift 2 spots to the left. So if I'm in the hundreds, then that's thousands, 10,000s. So we're going to have 34,002. And then what has been to the right of this 2? A bunch of zeros. So that's where those zeros come from, 34,200. And now we have 10 times 342, which everything shifts 1 spot to the left. So that's going to including the 0 that was in the tenths, and that's 3,420. All right, so at this point, you should know how you did, okay? You should know how many you got right out of each. So that's where you put that number. Hopefully you've been following up there. And you've been keeping track of your level of mastery. So from here, what you're going to do is now, I haven't made it yet. That's what I'm going to do next. It's either going to be in Google Classroom or I'm going to make a website. I can't remember. I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. But you'll go to one of those. I will tell you on Tuesday what that is. And then you're going to go. You're going to start. The skills are in order. Okay, so whatever one you didn't master, if you did not master reading tenths and hundredths, then you need to start with that one. If you mastered the first few and then started struggling, that's what you start with. Okay, so anywhere where you're not an I can do it or going beyond, you need to practice more and have at it. Okay, I'll explain the practice, how you're going to practice there, either live in class or on the first video that you watch. I'll probably do both. All right, bye.